In this lesson, we're going to be talking about stealth scanning. Now, stealth scanning is where I don't leave any fingerprints on the target myself. My system here won't be touching the target system at all. I'm actually going to use Nmap for this. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I don't do a ping. So I'm not going to ping the target system at all. And the reason for that is if I were to ping the target host, I would be issuing a request to the target myself, which is what I don't want to do. I'm going to do an idle scan, and I'm going to set 172.30.42.1 as my zombie host. And my target is going to be 172.30.42.55. So my zombie host right here is the only thing that's going to be communicating with the target. And that's not really true, because the first thing that's going on is I'm probing this zombie host. And what I want to do is figure out how the IP ID field actually works. I want to see whether the host is actually idle and whether I can expect to get reasonable results from subsequent connections to the zombie. Then what I do is I send spoofed messages to my target pretending to be the zombie host. So what happens is the target replies to the zombie host. I keep checking the zombie host to see how the IP identification header field is actually behaving, and from the results of those probes, I can see that I'm getting either closed ports or open ports, or maybe filtered ports. What I can do here is I can show you, if I were to open a new window here. Let me start up a TCP dump. And then I'm going to do my scan again. Now, if I move this window out of the way and I come over here, you can see that the requests are actually going from the .1 address, originating from me, but from the .1 address to the .55 address. And I happen to know that these names actually resolve to those IP addresses. So that's what's actually happening here. We're sending requests that look as though they're coming from the .1 address, and we're sending them to the bill.westell.com, which is actually the .55 address. Now, what you don't see here is the responses from the bill address. You do, however, see my system checking the .1 address to see what we're actually getting for an IP ID field. We send some requests out to the target from the zombie, and then we check the zombie to see how the IP ID is behaving. And now if I go back to the window where we had done the scan, you can see the results here. These are all of the ports that are open. And of course, I could check this doing a SYN scan myself from this particular system, but I can tell you that these are the ports that are actually open on the target host. And we did it without actually touching the target host ourselves. So there's no connection at all from our system to the target system. There's no network traffic that goes to the target system at all. There's no way of directly connecting us easily to this particular scan.